Welcome to Foundational Knowledge Medical Device Directive to MDR transition. The transition from the Medical Device Directive to the Medical Device Regulation represents a crucial change in the European Union's regulatory framework. The MDR Regulation EU 2017-745 replaces the older MDD 9342 EEC, an Active Implantable Medical Device Directive AIMDD, to establish stricter requirements to enhance patient safety, device traceability, and clinical performance evaluation. Why transition to MDR? Evolving industry. Modern medical devices involve software, AI, wearable technology, and implants. Patient prioritization. Increased focus on clinical safety and post-market surveillance. Global alignment. Improved harmonization of international standards. Under MDD, a Class 1 reusable surgical device only needed self-certification. Under MDR, it now requires notified body approval, emphasizing enhanced risk management. Key changes from MDD to MDR: risk and classification upgrades. MDR introduces 22 classification rules, up from MDD's 18, further detailing device risks. New inclusions under MDR: software as a medical device, SAMD, treated as a standalone device. Reprocessed devices and sterilization treated items like Class LS, sterile, 1M measuring, and 1R reusable. Many devices are upclassified, requiring stringent conformity assessments via notified bodies. Example, AI diagnostic software now classified as Class 2A under MDR, requiring clinical evaluation and NB oversight for approval. Clinical evaluation requirements. MDR demands explicit CEPs, or clinical evaluation plans, and clinical evaluation reports aligned with Annexure 14. Added emphasis on post-marketing surveillance, periodic safety update reports, post-marketing clinical follow-up, and summary of safety and clinical performance. Update frequency. Class 2B and 3 devices require annual reviews. Class 2A updates every 2 years. For instance, an implantable Class 3 device requires continuous clinical data collection to update annual PSURs submitted via EuroMed. Vigilance and incident reporting. MDR tightens incident reporting timelines, reducing submission windows. MDD allows 30 days. MDR reduces this to 15 days for standard incidents. Life-threatening incidents or public health threats are reportable immediately. Standardized reporting via EuroMed enhances transparency. Example, a pacemaker malfunction must be reported to EuroMed within 15 days under MDR to protect public safety. Labeling and UDI requirements. Unique device identifiers, UDI, are mandatory under MDR. Marks like basic UDI-DI must appear on device labels. Instructions for use must incorporate both human-readable and machine-readable formats. Labels on surgical tools now include QR codes linking to SSCPs, ensuring traceable safety data. Regulatory scope expansion. MDR now captures previously excluded categories: cleaning, disinfecting, and sterilizing equipment, non-medical products, example contact lenses, and equipment with aesthetic functions. For example, aesthetic fillers not under MDD must meet MDR requirements for biocompatibility studies. Post-market surveillance and record keeping. MDR mandates manufacturers to maintain records for 10 years after market removal for Class 1 and 2 devices, or 15 years for implantables. PMS plans must reflect ongoing vigilance efforts even for devices discontinued from the market. For example, renewing risk analysis annually for a discontinued implant ensures long-term surveillance compliance. Role of NBs, or notified bodies. Manufacturers must renew NB certifications under MDR, which requires detailed technical files for review. Rigorous conformity assessment procedures, Annexure 9 and 11. Example, companies producing orthopedic screws were required to switch to MDR notified bodies for updated European Union certifications. EuroMed data's importance. It became central for UDI assignment, incident tracking, and regulatory submissions. Example, all MDR complaint data for an insulin pump gets routed through EuroMed for shared European Union-wide access. Challenges in the transition. Increased regulatory burden. Stringent CER documentation and alignment requires more resources. For example, smaller manufacturers struggle with added clinical data collection. Extended timelines. Notified body backlogs lead to long conformity assessment delays. Example, type examination processes for Class 3 stents face bottlenecks due to limited MDR approved NBs. Financial impacts. High reclassification fees for device upgraded under MDR. For instance, legacy devices recertified face NB fees exceeding £20,000 annually. Workforce skill gaps. Demand for skilled regulatory professionals has surged post MDR implementation. Example implementation strategy would be manufacturers initiated MDR dedicated regulatory departments for compliance oversight. Some strategies for effective transition. Gap analysis for technical dossiers to identify MDD compliant documentation requiring MDR updates. Collaborative engagements to partner with notified bodies early to reduce delays in certification. Enhanced training programs to train QA teams on evolving technical requirements such as risk-benefit matrices. Investment in digital monitoring to utilize software tools to manage UDML uploads and PMS reports. Incremental compliance scheduling to strategize updates starting with Class 3 devices, postponing lower risk devices. Use of consultants. Outsourcing PMS activity planning reduces internal bottlenecks for SMEs. Example, a surgical tool company partnered with regulatory consultants for MDR compliance audits and international harmonization.